In late 2010, the Lord Mayor invited me back to the building to see City Hall as it's never been seen before, stripped bare. Over the years, layers have been added to the building to accommodate changing uses of the rooms. In order to access and strengthen the building structure, these layers all need to come away. It's a chance to remove unnecessary weight from the building. And as you're about to see, there are other benefits too.
Ah, look. Okay, so this is one of the old original window fittings?
Well, original window onto this fantastic light well, and it's been sort of sealed off for I don't know how many years, probably at least 10 or 15 you'd think. Old switchboard sort of sitting here, cables everywhere. Yep. You know, this is just City Hall, isn't it? It's just, again, just shows you the sort of the way that things have been added onto and how we've lost stuff along the way. I mean, it's going to be great to actually get natural light back into these particular areas.
And as much as possible, do you want to feature these original fittings?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, look, this just, you know, I think it's just such an incredible feature of the building, having these wonderful light wells that were designed so that even in the interior rooms, people were getting that natural light. And when we open this up, and this is then a function space in the future, I mean, it's just going to be terrific, but it's been lost, just lost for so long.
Yeah, so the layers of flooring are being discovered as well.
Yeah, look, this is pretty amazing, isn't it? Sort of, you just see, you know, there's a concrete floor, and then there's this sort of ash sort of material from the new farm powerhouse, then timber, and then other stuff's been laid on top. A real sandwich of layers of history, if you like.
Well, it looks like lasagna.
Lasagna.
So this original, as much as possible, again, these floorboards may well be used again if they can be.
Well, Andrew, absolutely. I mean, these are part of the heritage of the building. Look, they don't make it like that thick anymore, do they? So yeah, we've got to try and save them.
Oh, so this is really opening up, isn't it now?
Look, it's just going to be fantastic to see this finished. But when we get all this clutter out, when we clean out all this mess of the last 80 years and then really use it in the way that it was intended. You know, these are fantastic sort of features of the building which have been cluttered up for many, many decades with all sorts of services, pipes, cables. They're real dog's breakfast. And these things have been like forgotten, almost sort of back rooms, which really destroyed the original purpose and actually didn't allow the building to shine. But there's a whole lot of things that have to happen in here to rebuild the building and to deal with the service issues so that they can fulfil a really important function to provide that light back in. There can be a garden and a bit of space here that people can enjoy, you know, moments of quiet reflection if they break out areas from some of the function rooms and the like.
Heritage architects have been studying City Hall to try to understand its many transformations so that they can plan for how the building will be restored as closely as possible to its original architectural intent.
The buildings changed roles frequently over the years. So during the war it had a particular orientation, very much a community facility for women and children, for the servicemen going off to war. After the war there was a big focus on health delivery and services, so it had a very active immunisation clinic. Then the whole evolution of the kindercraft on the roof, and all of those at some stage needed changes made to the building. And when people are trying to cost effectively modify a building, they don't generally go through and rip everything out that's been in there before, and that generates the layers of either cement or floor finishes or enclosures, and all of those impact on how adaptable the building is now. If we can take away a lot of those extra layers, that leaves us almost with a clean slate to start carefully reconsidering how we modernise this building.
The opportunity that we have in closing the whole City Hall for this restoration work is to get it right. There really hasn't been a chance until this time to actually have an approach that looks at the whole building and looks at the hierarchy of the spaces, looks at the quality of the existing materials, and allows a holistic approach to its restoration and its representation. It is a balancing act between keeping as much as possible of the original building and then adding additional features or additional services that will allow it to continue to be used. Because if you can't do that, then the building will just moulder away and become a museum. It has to live again and has to be looked after. And that will happen if we can increase its functionality, but done in a way that doesn't destroy at all the original fabric and the original design intent and the original qualities of the building.
As heritage architects work on finding increased space for community use, plans were also underway to unite two of Brisbane's greatest icons. A visit to City Hall, followed by high tea at the Shingle Inn, has been a time-honoured Brisbane tradition since the 1930s. Sadly, this tradition came to an end when the original Shingle Inn on Edward Street closed in 2002. But things are set to change. On the 4th of June 2010, a memorandum of understanding between Brisbane City Council and Shingle Inn owners, the Bell Chambers family, transferred ownership of the original Shingle Inn to the people of Brisbane. As I discovered, these heritage icons have much in common. City Hall was the work of architects Hall and Prentice, with T.R. Hall later going on to design the original Shingle Inn. Both were opened in the 1930s, and both were prominent meeting places in Brisbane. Proud granddaughter of T.R. Hall, Anne Bulpett shares her pride at having a family connection to both the Shingle Inn and City Hall.
One of his iconic designs was the Shingle Inn, which I'm really pleased to hear is going to be restored as a coffee shop in the City Hall. So many people remember going to the Shingle Inn, I certainly do as a child. Now, it was a very upmarket establishment in its era and had a real Tudor English charm, I suppose you'd call. But yes, I've got many happy memories of that place.
So what else is in store for the future of City Hall? Coming up next, join me as we take a look at how the Brisbane community is getting involved in this once-in-a-lifetime restoration and future plans for City Hall.